next guest, real funny comedian. Just had a kick-ass set on Letterman. And she's a paisan from right here, the Bronx. Adrienne Iapalucci. Am I saying that right?
You probably say it better than I say it.
How do you say it?
I say it Iapalucci, but that's not really Italian.
I said Iapalucci.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the mother slang.
You would make my dad proud.
Iapalucci.
Now, is your father real hardcore Italian? Is he off the boat, or is he?
He's in the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was he a good dad? A good hardcore Italian dad?
He was like a typical dad, like, you know, like a gambler. You know.
Well, a typical Bronx dad.
A typical Bronx dad, yes.
Did you grow up near Arthur Avenue? Is that where you were from?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like Pelham Parkway.
Pelham Parkway. A lot of Italians.
Used to be.
Used to be.
Yes.
Are you still there? Are your parents? Is your mother still alive?
My mother is still alive.
Is she still up there?
She lives in Mars Park, yes.
Now, where do you live?
I still live in the Bronx.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Now, how'd you start doing stand-up?
I don't know. I always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And my mother took me to like an open mic because she did stand-up, but then she stopped doing stand-up.
Okay. How old was she when she stopped?
I don't know. She would do it like 6 months at a time.
Oh, really? So she's tried several times.
Right. And then when she seen me getting some stuff, she started doing it more.
Now, would she live vicariously through you a little bit? Is there jealousy going on here?
Yeah, she's like a typical comic. Like, how'd you get that? Who did I call? Yeah.
Now, how's that going? Is it striking a blow to the relationship?
I mean, we don't really have that good of a relationship to begin with.
So it can only get better, is what you're saying?
It can only get worse.
Well, now, where'd she drive you to the open mic? Where? What club?
It wasn't a club. It was an Italian restaurant in Brooklyn Heights. There was like 6 people there.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And the 6 people were comics.
No, they were actually like 3 couples.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they know there was going to be stand-up? Because I've done that before. People don't even know.
Right.
You're just annoying them.
It was a huge place. It was like probably twice the size of this room.
Really?
Yeah.
And there were just
they
6 people.
Yeah, that's why they closed down, because nobody was eating there.
How long did you do? 5 minutes?
Maybe. It's so funny because I'm like pretty low energy as a comic. I was like all over the place, just walking around. I think I took my shoe off at one point.
Well, that sounds like a good bit. Do you remember what you said? Do you remember it all? How old were you, first of all?
I was, I think, 25.
Well, you're very young. What are you, about 28 now?
No, I'm 36.
You are? Well, you look like you're still in your 20s.
Thanks.
And so after that, was it a bad experience?
My first, no, it was actually good. People laughed. I think
You got laughs on that from the 6 people.
I think I was just being ridiculous.
Well, listen, so it wasn't from the material, it was just from you.
I think it was partly funny and partly ridiculous. My mother, I think at the time, too, helped me kind of put together my first set. Like, I was
Okay.
working in the South Bronx.
You were?
Yeah, and, like, I got pulled over by the cops, and, like, there was actual crime going on, but they pulled me over. I think that was, like, one of my first jokes, something like that.
What were you doing in the South Bronx? Where were you working?
I was working as a crime victims advocate. And then one of the people
That's a stressful job.
No, it's...
In the South Bronx?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then one of the people I was advocating for stole my wallet, and then I became a victim of crime.
Yeah. A lot of irony going on.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that sounds like a perfect recipe for comedy material. I mean,
guess.
absolutely. Is that where you drew from your early material, or maybe still do?
Yeah, a lot of it's like personal stuff.
Yeah. Now, do you make a good enough living to where you don't need a day job now with the stand-up?
I'm starting to, but I think because I always had a job, I never forced myself to. So
Right.
I'm just starting to now.
Did you quit a day job? Do you not have one now?
I found out on Tuesday my office was closing, and on Wednesday Letterman gave me a date.
That's great.
But I mean, I had been working with Letterman for like a year and a half on a set.
Oh, really? The Letterman people, I've been through that. The Letterman people come see you, do your set, and then they give you notes, right? And then you go back, and a year and a half of that, that's long. But
I'm like low energy. I'm also a dark comic. They said no to jokes, then I just reintroduced them like another
Give us a
time
dark joke.
that I did on that show.
It's got to be clean, like FCC clean, but a dark theme could be okay. I mean,
You mean that I did on that show, or just in general?
Or in general, yeah. Give us one of your favorite dark jokes.
This is one of my favorite jokes.
Okay.
So my boyfriend told me he was going to kill himself, and I was like, great, now I won't be able to kill myself, or people will think we were in love.
Did you do that on Letterman? No, it didn't go over. Yeah, that's one of those jokes where Letterman will go, okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't even approach that joke.
Now, what would you do on Letterman? Give us a couple of those. How dark did you? Give us the darkest Letterman joke you did.
My opener, they had me move because it had the word blind in it. I said
Really?
that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so terrible. My God. I mean, it's the political correctness.
And it was like so ridiculous.
What's the joke?
I said I'm not a people person. I was in the elevator the other day, and I was eating a bag of baby carrots, and this guy was like, "Those are really good for your eyes." And I was like, "I know. I used to be blind." And they wouldn't let me do that up front.
Really?
Yep.
My God.
They made me move it.
I was on Letterman once, and I was told not to do this, but I did it anyway. And it's the proudest moment of my life because Letterman loved it and said it was his favorite thing of the set. And it killed with the crowd, too, but they really begged me not to do it. It was a true story. My friend's uncle, the last 5 years of his life, would watch television, eating mozzarella, like an Italian uncle with like an apple. And he watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer all the time. And he's an old Italian guy. And finally I said, what's this show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer? And very nonchalant, he said, it's a Jew broad fights Draculas. It's one of the funniest things a human being's ever said. Because he said, it's a Jew broad fights Draculas. And like he had to watch the end credits to see Geller to figure out she's Jewish, first of all. And then it fights Draculas. So at the end of the set, I just said, screw it. I put it in, and Letterman barreled over laugh. It was the biggest laugh I got. So sometimes, was it like the person, your segment producer told you not to do that? Because it's a great joke.
They said because I said blind, I couldn't.
Just blind, just don't even go near blind, yeah.
I mean, I had 2 jokes that took them 2 months to see if I could even do them.
Yeah, I mean, that is like, imagine the waste of time. What were the 2 jokes? Please tell me.
One joke was about saying one joke was a cop joke.
Uh-oh.
It was like about female cops. They let me do that joke, but the punchline was about getting choked. And they said that was too dark. I could do it in the middle of my set. And I was like, that's my closing joke. I'm not going to put it in the middle of the set.
Oh, good for you. You had some integrity.
And I said, can I change it if I put a different punchline? And I was like, what if it's Rob? Because they said it was too dark. I was like, what about Rob's?
What's the exact joke?
It's kind of a long bit.
That's okay. I mean, I think you're funny. I can listen to you all. Is this your delivery to the way you are right now?
Maybe a little more than this.
All right. Well, do whatever. Feel comfortable. Go ahead.
So I said that I seen 2 female cops. I feel really dumb, but
don't. I mean, come on. You're clearly the smartest person in this room. I guarantee you.
No, I'm not.
No, you are. Believe me.
I love
Mike.
Mike.
Stop.
We all do.
Do you know Mike well?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when
for a
I
long
started
time.
doing
He loves
stand-up-
you. He said
I love him. He's
Yeah.
great. I used to see him at New York and stuff all the time. He's a really nice guy
Yeah,
and very
definitely.
funny.
Good man. Good man.
Very good.
So go ahead. Let's hear it.
All right, so that joke was, so I seen 2 female cops the other day working together, and instead of being like, look how progressive we become as a society, I was just like, I bet one of their partners called in sick. Like that morning, the lieutenant called up and was just like, all right, guys, Davis is not coming in today.
Davis.
So we're just gonna put Erin and Heather together and hope nothing real happens. And I was like, I know that's messed up, but I'm saying it as a woman. Like, if I call 911 up and 2 women show up, I'm just gonna be like, I could have just done this myself. I was like, this is great. Now all 3 of us are gonna get choked.
And they had a problem with that.
Choked, yeah. They said
Man.
it was too dark. Robbed was not too dark.
I mean, my God, everybody, that makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. I mean, now let me ask you this: as a comedian, I know we.
I would rather get choked than robbed.
It depends on who's choking you.
Yes, but I mean, if you took all my money, I'd be really pissed.
Yeah, but what if you get strangled to death?
I'd like to.
What if there's permanent injuries from the choke? No, in a way,
yeah,
listen,
that's
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'd probably prefer that too. But as a comic, I know we obsess about certain things. How long did it take you to figure out that the name was going to be Davis is out?
I just felt like a
And Erin and Heather, like how long?
It just had to be all white names.
Davis.
Davis, like a real white dude, and
Right.
2 white chicks that clearly you're just definitely don't trust as cops.
Yeah.
Like that you just see them and you're like, I don't feel safe in this situation at all.
But it sounds like it was worthwhile because the Letterman set destroyed, from what I hear, and he called you over to sit with him?
He did. I don't remember what he said. People ask me what he said. I'm like, I don't remember. I was kind of in shock.
Right. Yeah, I've been there a couple times, panel. It is, because he was one of my heroes, and it's very intimidating. We have a mutual friend. He knows I know Norm Macdonald. So I've done it 12 times, and during the commercial, every single time he goes, how's Norm? And the music's blaring. How's Norm? He's doing good. All right. He just waits for someone to come over and save him, like wow. Writers to come over and go, okay, Artie, thanks, come back, you know.
I think he asked me where I lived. I think that was
really?
one thing he asked me.
That's odd.
I don't know. That's where he asked me.
Where do you live? He seems, I feel bad for him because he's one of my heroes, and I feel he's an unhappy guy. I feel he has contempt for everyone who works with him. I feel he hates comedians. He's seen too many of them. And I just feel he's like, but he goes to work because he doesn't like the alternative.
I feel like he probably would like to say a bunch of shit on that show. He can't.
You can't curse, but...
Oh.
Listen, we ran that... We've been running this set by you for 2 months. You got to say... no. Yes, I agree with you completely. Yeah. And because he's one of the funniest. I mean, the old Lettermans on NBC was when he sort of let that wit out a lot. And if a guest aggravated him, he would destroy. I mean, he would mercifully destroy them. And it was so wonderful to see. When he got on CBS, he backed that up a lot. And you could tell, yeah. He seems frustrated that way. I agree.
I think if he was on maybe cable or something and he could just say whatever he wanted, he would just have a lot more fun.
Well, it's funny. Conan, I think, was upset about the Tonight Show thing, but on TBS, his show's way better than the Tonight Show because he does.
He can do whatever he wants, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, do you work as has anyone offered you a job as a writer? I would think they would.
I've submitted packets. Nobody ever gives me a job, though.
Really? Even after they see you do stand-up?
Yeah.
Now, what in the packets do you do, like...
it depends what they want. If it's monologue jokes or sketches or...
For who have you submitted? SNL?
Letterman, Fallon, all those shows.
And basically monologue jokes?
Some of it's monologue jokes, some of it's sketches. It's mostly that stuff, like a little bit of both.
Do you like acting?
Pretty bad at acting.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. I think
what makes you say that?
Like, this is it. I could act like this.
Yeah, but this is good, though.
You could act like this.
Be yourself.
And this is so uncomfortable right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is...
Do you feel uncomfortable right now?
Yes.
Is it something I'm doing?
No. I'm always uncomfortable on stage.
Yeah, but
you're not on stage. You're
doesn't matter.
relaxing.
But in a way, so why do you think you do it?
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't loved. I don't know. I just...
I think because it beats being a crime advocate in the South Bronx.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't going to do that longer. I couldn't.
What would you have done?
I don't know. I just had crappy jobs all the time.
You see, it's odd. You feel uncomfortable. I could talk to you for like 17 straight hours. I enjoy it.
I could talk to you for 17 straight hours without all these other people.
All right, well, listen. Hey, honey,
It's just all these lights.
Let's lose these losers. I've never been that blatantly hit on in my life. Mm-hmm. I'm kidding. We got to take a break. We're going to come back and we'll talk more. I want you to be comfortable, though. You want a shot of Jim Beam?
That'll probably never happen.
Want a shot of Jim Beam? Do you drink?
No.
You do any narcotics?
No.
Nothing the shrink gave you to calm down?
No. I have some Xanax, but I don't have any on me.
Well, if you had some money, this could be a long conversation. All right. Yeah, don't get hooked on that. Well, we're going to come back. I love this. This is great. The great Adrienne Iapalucci. After this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.